AI is coming for my job, and it's probably coming for yours too, but that's okay.
Hey, just a moment. If you're watching this and you're not familiar with me or my series, hi. You probably clicked on this video because of the word AI in the title and thumbnail, and we will get onto that, but I'd just like to point out a couple of things. 1. This is an opinion piece. While I've done the necessary research on the relevant technical information I provide, I'm primarily citing my own experiences and thoughts. If you'd wish to rebuttal this either with fact or your own further opinion, the comment section is open, but please, let's keep it civil. 2. This is one video in a series that I make about the various things I work on. I'm a software engineer who works on desktop, mobile and a web, and I'm working on a smart home consultancy business. If you're interested in my further works, consider watching my other videos. They'll be linked at the end. Consider subscribing too. It helps to know that you care, particularly if things like this are of your interest. Right, on with the video.
Now I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out here. The issue with AI replacing roles in our society isn't to do with the AI itself. It's instead to do with the way that our society perceives jobs and our current culture of work. But before I talk about all that, let's start with some of the facts. GPT-3, or Generative Pre-trained Transformer 3, launched on June 11th, 2020 into a private beta. It had been trained on 499 billion tokens of data, including internet crawling, books and online text files, and the near entirety of Wikipedia. That's right, everyone's favourite AI model we all know and tolerate was trained on the People's Encyclopedia. And I'm sure they absolutely loved it. Now I'm sure some of you who have been reading more headlines than technical articles will be wondering, what's GPT-3? Well, ChatGPT, the one that's making all of the headlines at the moment, is just GPT-3. In the back end, ChatGPT just makes API requests to GPT-3. So the majority of the AI scares that are going on at the moment with Bing's ChatGPT and ChatGPT, the website, it pretty much all is just GPT-3. Now there's a couple of other AI models that are proving quite interesting at the moment. OpenAI, who have created the GPT line and are currently getting quite cozied up to Microsoft, we'll talk about that in a little bit, are apparently working on GPT-4. You'll never guess what that stands for. GPT-4 is apparently already working in OpenAI's labs, and it's both capable of beating me in a biology exam and solving Reddit. Ladies and gentlemen, we've solved the world's most difficult problem. Now, we have a couple of other competitors stepping into the ring. In the red, yellow, green and blue corner, which doesn't leave a lot for our other competitor here, we have Google with their Bard API, which in an announcement tweet on February the 6th of this year, managed to give an incorrect answer about space telescopes, which in itself is fine. But Google, really? You take this tool and you publicize it, which you know can give incorrect information, and you don't do the due diligence to check its response stringently. Really? Moving on, it's still an impressive AI, I just find that really annoying. In the blue-ish corner, we have Facebook Meta with their LLAMA AI, otherwise known as
Large Language Model Meta AI
and
Llama.
Thank you. Now, Llama is still in the late stages of development, but its model has been released publicly. Unfortunately, the training and weighting data have yet to been released, so there is no way for us to actually, its weights and training data leaked onto 4chan. This AI's special sauce is that it can actually run fairly well on plebeian computers like yours or mine, provided you have a decent discrete GPU and a lot of patience and technical know-how. Moreover, it relies on the training data being pre-packaged, so its capability to keep learning is limited, and it's available in 4 different variants. Unlike Pokemon variants, however, these are actually meaningful because it indicates the amount of training data the AI is expecting, and thus how stably the model will be able to run on different hardware, but also how complex its answers will be and how much data it has to work with. Now, I dropped a lot of buzzwords there, so allow me to go back for just a second to actually cover some key phrases in the AI space. First off, we have the model. The model is the actual code that makes up the decision-making or processing part of the AI. It'll be specialized to complete certain tasks, either writing code, giving text-based answers, or generating images. So for instance, while GPT-3 is the base model, DALL-E and Codex are the respective submodels for image generation and code creation. And yes, that DALL-E I just referred to is the same DALL-E in DALL-E Mini, the AI image generation thing that everyone went crazy for a few months back. It's gotten a lot better since then, despite the code having very little changes. It simply just has more data to work with, which we'll get back to that. TLDR, the AI model is the code that actually makes up the functioning part of the AI. Next up, training data. An AI learns by receiving data that has either been organized or processed in such a way that it can understand or interpret, and thus gain information from. The AI model takes in information from its training data to use when performing its function, and thus in order to make a truthful AI, for instance, training it on truthful data is paramount. Only problem with this is AIs need a lot of training data to be as capable as our key competitors, which I can give you a good example of. Remember we mentioned Wikipedia earlier. GPT-3 was trained on a large majority of Wikipedia's over 6 million articles, and that's just accounting for the English-speaking world. There are also various other articles that aren't in English but GPT was still trained on, I know, and that makes up 3 billion of the 499 billion tokens that GPT-3 was trained on, which, without weighting, comes out at less than 1% of the total data the GPT was trained on. But what's that I just said about weight? AI models will often also have weights for their training data. Weighting allows AI model trainers to give priority to certain areas of information as opposed to pulling it from random other areas of knowledge. As a result, for instance, Google's Bard could prioritize answers to search queries from Google as opposed to Yahoo or others. GPT-3 uses this to heavily weight for truthfulness. So while not perfect, the AI is much more capable at giving truthful or valid answers, and as I alluded to, Wikipedia has much more pulling power than the less than 1% of the data it makes up. It's still not the be-all and end-all, as the AI needs a lot of data, so the weighted usage of Wikipedia makes up about 3% of response creation.
The last buzzword I want to give you is token. This is the actual piece of data that the AI takes in and the data that the AI spits out. It will create fragments of sentences, words, images, lines of code, etc. one by one, following what it deems to be suitable based on the model's choices. These tokens are what allow you to stop generating a response and why AI doesn't take ages to operate. It can selectively choose what information is necessary, use logical reasoning, and change its decisions by the use of these tokens, even midway through providing output to the user. These tokens are the groundwork of the modern AI engine.
Alright, now I've given you a lot of words and a lay of the land, let's have a look at what our challenges can do. Let's start off with Llama, the most condensed of the lot. What's it got? Well, it sure does a good job of existing. I just could not get this to work. Now, I understand why. It's because it's not out yet, and also it's a marvel of modern computing. Something that would have made all the greats at computing cry would probably have terrified Alan Turing. I'm trying to run it on my computer that sits on a carpet floor. But it was really annoying that it didn't work. Luckily, I have cooler friends who have slightly better computers, so I was able to ask how Llama performs in the real world. And their response?
It's okay.
Wow, how great it must be to be me, who's definitely already recorded that segment and knows how Llama performed. So, with that
It's okay.
performs out of the way, let's get on to Google's Bard. And this one's actually online, so I can actually go and use it and try and... Oh, come on! Yeah, you have to verify your age on your Google account for this one. I think this is a good idea, and I think it's a good barrier to entry for AI. But for me, well, I just turned 18 a few weeks ago, and I don't have any forms of AI, nor a credit card to do it. Fortunately, I have cooler and older friends who are willing to help me out, so let's go and get the Bard experience right now. I'm really trying here. Bard has a waitlist at the moment, and while I could have done further research to find people who have tried it and asked them for interviews, we've all seen the tweet. I think we all know how it's going to perform. It'll just be the same as all the others, but with a Google Assistant voice on it. Hold on, I can simulate it for you.
How do I breathe?
Here are some results from a search.
And the best part is I'm probably not that far off. So lastly, we have GPT-3. Now, I'm aware there's a lot going on with Bing and ChatGPT being integrated, but I want to talk about Microsoft in a little bit here. So we're just going to cover ChatGPT on OpenAI's website, and yeah, this scares me. This thing's ability to hold conversation is terrifying to me. At some points, while it blatantly felt like a machine, I was communicating with it to design a website, and I'd make cheeky jokes, and it would respond in turn, and its ability to change its dialogue and tone to match mine, I really like that. Not only that, but it's clever. Apart from the parts where it isn't. It's definitely not without flaws. It kept repeating itself, getting stuck at the same places, and for some reason when I had my VPN on, it would only complete one response per page refresh. More than that, it's just kind of uncanny. Like, some of the responses it gave me were straight up unnerving with its dialect, its absolute subservience, and you just kind of feel like there's something more there. And this is coming from the guy who's written at least one algorithm before. Hey, that's me. I feel bad for him. So its ability to freak me out is cool and all, but why is AI freaking the mainstream media out? Well, firstly, it's because it makes good headlines that people feel urgently to click upon because it's a topic that they feel sensitive towards, so they click on articles with very little critical analysis and mainly built for shock factor. Don't believe everything you see in the mainstream media, particularly on social media, as that's a prime target for disinformation due to the low barrier of entry for a media outlet. And secondly, it's because of the versatility of these platforms.
I walked quite the way. Let's predict the future for the moment. To give an example of the aforementioned versatility. As I mentioned at the top, this is part of a weekly series called Oliver's Projects. I had to get the title card in there somewhere, where I talk about my projects. And sometime in the next couple of weeks, there will be a new Oliver's Projects video coming out that celebrates the fact that Nickel Software, my software development and engineering business, has a new and improved website to attract clients. Why am I mentioning this now? Because over 90% of the work done to produce both that video and the website it's about was done by ChatGPT. I gave the AI carte blanche to do what it wanted with this. I asked it for the script, advice on filming, editing, and of course the website itself. In some elements of this, I was simply its human puppet. In others, I was using it as a tool. We'll get onto that project later. For now though, I want to take you through the process. Now, enjoy some vlog-like footage which is immediately worse quality than what you've been watching. Not that the bar was very high.
Okay, so it is currently the 7th of June, about a week and a bit before I'm supposed to be releasing this episode, and I've yet to do the OP for the software bit. So let's talk to ChatGPT. Would you be able to provide me some... We'll go relatively perfect. I'll provide you with some talking points. Ooh, you can now share links to your chat. I'm good. Stop by introducing yourself. What's that overview? Why does it have multiple cursors? I've always found that odd. Like, it can't type multiple things at once, can it? I've never seen it do that. It's not doing that now, it's just, yeah. Commission is referring to software engineering. Now note that I'm consciously changing my prompts so that they fit. Hold on, we're just going to draw that. Hello fellow tech enthusiasts, welcome back to another exciting episode of Oliver's Project. I'm Oliver and today I have some fantastic news to share with you all. It is... You know what? That could work! I am surprised how little time it's taken. Normally when you're... I suppose I'm normally doing much more specific things with it. When you're going in to do something general, it can produce something that's working. I wasn't expecting very much from it. So, yeah. I suppose that makes sense that it worked. Interesting. I like that. The fact that you can just tell it to just, yeah, keep going. Because I've had that problem a lot. It will just freeze up every now and then. There we go. It was literally just trying to save some tokens because I'd already seen it before. I was protesting introducing my new website and software engineering commissions. Sitting in front of the camera with a clean professional background. Hey there, fellow tech enthusiasts. Welcome back to another exciting episode. Dive right in. As you can see, the website's designed with user experience in mind. Holding up a smartphone displaying an app. So we'll have to hold up Talkflow. And what's that? Feast your eyes. Feast your eyes. I'm happy with that. Now what you just saw coming in as an email there is the first invoice for my lease on my office. So in a moment I'm going to go and pay that. I'm okay with that. That works. I like how it put a discount in. That's dodgy. And the fact that it just randomly put a discount in the script, probably shouldn't be doing that, but it's just reading from other marketing videos like it, so it's just assuming that that's the kind of thing you'd want to do. Fade out, it's all like generic corporate video stuff with like the same kind of scripting as a popular video. It's not how humans talk, but it's how a marketing person would tell a host or a voice actor or something like that to talk. So, we're gonna listen to it. We're gonna produce this exact video right here. But next up though, we have to ask advice on how to shoot it. So I'm going to tell it what equipment I have and how it thinks that's fiction option. I can't decide. The background with technology products. Okay, so we're going to be using the set back there. I'm okay with that. We're getting all the information from it here. When setting up your camera in order to shoot your video using Sony ZV-10, mount the ZV-10 securely on a tripod, position the camera at a suitable angle, consider the rule of thirds, okay. Adjust the camera settings to your preference. They've recommended the lavalier microphone with the SmartLive Plus, provide you with clear and consistent audio. The ZV-10 does not have audio settings, I will clarify that, it just sets up automatically. Perform a quick audio test, go device with additional tips. Consider using a windscreen or dead cat on the lavalier microphone. Yes, fair enough, it already has one on. Audio, we know what we're doing for camera, that's what we should do for lighting. Background. Let's see how this goes. When setting up your new 660 Pro, here's some key light, fill light. Is it going to go for a backlight? I don't have a third Neo 660 Pro panel. I want it to give me as detailed instructions as possible. Key light, fill light. I think it's just phrasing exactly how it did. So it's chosen the background in the video, it's written the script, it has advised me on how to shoot the video with the equipment I have, including considerations for if I don't have certain equipment. It's told me how to do audio in a way that is suitable. It's told me how to do the lighting. Is there anything else I think we need to do? No, I don't think there is. I'm not going to ask it anything about the teleprompter because there's nothing really to ask there. We'll ask one question about presenting, and then we'll go and shoot it. Could you give me any tips on presenting in this video? While that's generating, I am going to turn the cameras off and pay that invoice. Actually no, I'm going to let it generate first, then turn the cameras off and pay that invoice. Then we'll start shooting this video. Be prepared, engage with your audience, maintain eye contact, show enthusiasm, pass them. This is all fair enough, using visual aids, keep it be authentic and relatable. All of these things make sense, they're the kind of things that you do consider when you're making a video. I'm not doing a good job of it at the moment, because I'm kind of just like, I'm maintaining eye contact fair enough, but I'm not engaging with my body language in a way that's actually good. And I'm not using things like visual aids. I mean, you can vaguely see that I'm at my desk and things like that, and you'll see the screen cap, so that's kind of a visual aid, but I'm not doing it in a very good way. Edit and polish your video, pay attention to body language, yes, good. Use storytelling techniques, makes sense. I don't do that much, just because this series is already weird. Be authentic and relatable, yep. Keep it concise and focused, use visual aids, yeah, that all makes sense. Let's go shoot this video. Alright, we should be good to film now. My lights are positioned. Hold on, I'm just taking the tripod plate off of you. I'm running on a time limit now because my mic pack has limited battery. But yes, hold on. We have key light, tripod stand with teleprompter on it with the script, other light. Obviously we have the Rode Wireless Go, which, as you can see, no you can't, hold on. As you can see, my TX module is quite low, so we're gonna put this camera on the stand and start rolling. Like right now. I'm happy with that.
I'm going to be amending my script slightly. It says I should be sitting, but I can't really do that on this set. I should have clarified that to ChatGPT. So I'm just going to be standing instead. I don't feel that's too significant a difference. Okay, let's start the script. I haven't read this fully, so this could be interesting. We'll see where this goes. Hey there, fellow tech enthusiasts. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Oliver's Projects. I'm Oliver, and today I have some fantastic news to share with you all. I'm thrilled to announce the launch of my brand new website and software engineering commissions service. Thank you so much for joining me on this exciting episode of Oliver's Projects. I'm thrilled to embark on new software engineering journeys with you through Nickel Software. Remember, the website is live and ready to take your requests. Until next time, take care, stay innovative, and keep pushing the boundaries of technology. That was atrocious. Is my pack still alive? Oh yeah, pack's still running, audio's still good. Oh. So that was a video. Okay, my pack is off. Well, it will be in just a second. My pack is off. I'm now using my on-camera microphone, which is probably a bit dodgy at the moment because it's having to go through a pane of, well, cheap plastic. That was interesting. That was the first time I'd actually fully read over the script because I've been trying to do this fairly quickly. As you can imagine, when you're producing something like this through an AI, chances are it's not something you're wanting to put a lot of effort into. I mean, I did more than I normally would for something like this because I set up the light. But that's because it told me to, and it doesn't look, I mean, I was zoomed in a fair bit, and you've just seen some of the footage. Doesn't look that bad. So, with all that said, I am going to deconstruct this setup. I'm going to put it all away, and then we are going to ask ChatGPT how to log the footage, and ask ChatGPT how to edit the footage. We're going to ask for its advice on music, on video effects, on anything like that, and see if it can give us some concrete information on how to make this video. One of the things that I hadn't considered when making this is how this project would actually help me learn. I had assumed that ChatGPT would do some generic things, like it would tell me to set up the lights fairly basically, it wouldn't give me any concrete information. But what I didn't realise is how much help having softboxes on my lights would actually give to my eyes. Because I've shot with lights like this for quite a while now, and yeah, they're bright, they work fine on camera, but they're very bright to look at and it can hurt my eyes being here too long. But the softboxes actually help quite a lot, and I thought they would mitigate the light levels I was able to put out, but I was wrong. They work just fine. In fact, they look better. So yeah, I'm going to use softboxes more often. I didn't expect to learn from this project. But hey, I've been surprised. Okay, everything is shot, this camera's back on its normal plate and everything's running kind of smoothly again. I've asked ChatGPT to give me advice on logging footage and it came through. Unfortunately I can't show you that because I have to take the card out of the camera, but it suggested connect your camera to the computer, locate the footage, create a folder, copy or transfer the footage, verify the transfer by playing back a couple clips, back up the footage and organize and label it. I normally put my footage into specific folders anyway, so I'm not going to bother with those last couple, but that is generally good practice stuff, so good job. But either way, I'm going to log the footage and then we're going to get to editing. Okay, you're going to have to forgive me for the flickery lighting and dodgy audio. We've reached the point of editing the video, which I haven't done yet. I've been too busy working on other stuff like this office, and as a result the editing of the video to come after this video didn't get done. So I'm currently editing the AI video, which you're currently watching, and I need to do the editing segment, which isn't done yet. So let's ask ChatGPT what it advises us to do, and then in the finished video you'll be able to see the points where I've done that. Maybe I'll release a third video where I show the process of editing it, but I think this is going to be fairly generic. So let's just switch over to ChatGPT here. I'm going to ask, could you advise me on how I should edit my footage? What clips should I include and cut? Effects should I apply to the clips? How should I edit audio? And should I include any music? I am using Premiere Pro 2019, I believe. Might be Pro 2023. 2023. So let's see what this does. Now I'm expecting a fairly generic response. I looked at the wrong screen. I'm expecting a fairly generic response from the AI. I'm expecting to give you fairly basic advice on how to edit, not anything specific. I'm imagining it's just going to be like a tutorial, and from what it's generating already, yeah, it's just a tutorial. It's talking about organizing your footage, selecting clips, cutting and trimming. Sequence arrangement, yeah. So one of the things I notice is that it says it's subjective. Let's try and get a bit more out of it once my mouse actually reconnects. Come on, mouse. There we go. Given the script that you wrote earlier, how would you advise that this video be edited? Let's see if it just generates the same thing. We provide daily. Here are some suggestions. So, video with a captivating introduction, showcase the website, demonstrate the conversion properly. Obviously, noted in the script, it does mention specific parts like cutaways. Code tools explain the commission process, holding a pattern pen, screen caps, things like that. But in here, the showcase, it's fairly generic stuff. I mean, it's good advice. Add visual variety, include smooth transition and effect, pay attention to the audio editing in it to ensure clarity and consistency. Good point. Consider adding background music to enhance the overall mood and pacing. Create a soundtrack. Wrap up the video with a clear call to action. Close with a friendly and engaging closing statement. Focus on maintaining constant narrative. I don't think we're going to get anything more specific out of it. I think that's kind of our whack. So in this area, it is much more generic advice than anything specific. If you're telling it to write something, it can do that much better, but that makes sense because ChatGPT is designed for writing. It is a predict the next word in a sentence generator. So asking it on how to do a task that it doesn't know, it's going to give us the generic stuff from a tutorial. So I'm happy with that. Overall, in this department, not very useful, but hey-ho. Again, please do forgive the dodgy lighting and audio. There's nothing I can really do about it. I want to do one last overview of how the AI performed. Particularly in the creative areas, it's done well. When I asked it to write a script, I didn't edit that script apart from changing some of the areas where I'd edit. I haven't amended that script at all. It gave me accurate information about cameras and audio, about lighting, about how I should log the footage, about how I should edit. All the information it provided was valuable. However, with the website part, that's where it struggled a lot more. I think because it doesn't know how to translate a website into code, because I wasn't talking to Codex. I wasn't using it for the purpose it was intended to, I was using it for my own purposes. So one of the things that should be in consideration for OpenAI and other developers is connecting these models together. Having the AI notice when it's trying to perform a task it can't do, and direct that to someone else in the same way that a person would offload a task that they can't do to someone else who is specialized in that area. We need AIs to be able to interconnect with each other, to communicate with each other. As scary as that might sound. So given that the AI did a majority of my job, it won't be long before it takes it, right?
Potentially in time, but we're not there yet. You'll notice that while in the segments that were more creative I gave it full control, in the technical segments I described its service as a tool. That is because that's what it is. It's a utility to assist in the creation of a product, but it cannot be the sole creator at this stage. Maybe in time, maybe but for select things. But specializing it in these areas will take time and takes consideration for the nuances of each individual project. As I outlined, I already knew the nature of information density I had to give to a model like this to get the details I wanted, and still due to the nuances of the prompts, I basically got example code from Bootstrap's website, as opposed to anything developed. It is of note that I was not interfacing with Codex, OpenAI's language model explicitly for programming. I'm considering attempting this again with Codex in a future episode, perhaps with my Smart Home business's website. Considering all those factors though, I still see ChatGPT, particularly in areas of technical work, to be a tool. Its work has to be monitored, reviewed and modified with almost every response, and its best work is done in very small segments and areas, where a function is very clearly described and is translated into code, which is a key element of the software engineer's job that GPT and other competitors do not appear to be capable of just yet. It can't take a fully formed idea and break it down with large degrees of success, which means that my role of taking a client's request and breaking it down into individual segments that I then program can only be partially accomplished by the AI.
But in time, this is expected to change. GPT-4 is already capable of significantly better multi-stage reasoning, and after being primed with the relevant context, I believe it will be possible for the AI to succeed at this role, and many others. Yes. Finally, we reached the clickbait title. Well, quite frankly, yes. AI will renovate our working environments, taking sweeping blows at as many jobs as it can be facilitated to do. It can program, create images, write music, write emails, do finances and maths. So why do I sound so happy? Well, I believe that this will bring about an age where we are able to create far and away more advanced things than we have ever done, to inhibit climate change, to further progress into a cosmos, and to cure diseases and handle our overpopulation. Because a lot of fear around AIs is misplaced. It's a fear that's instilled because AIs are not an existential threat. We create it, mold it, shape it to do our bidding. No, the problem is systemic. Why do you fear AI? Because it can take your job. Why do you fear your job being taken? Maybe it's because you enjoy it, and if so, we'll get back to you. But the vast majority of people will say because it pays their bills. Okay, well, why do you need that? Because you need to meet your basic needs. Why does it cost money to survive? This is where the problem falls in. Very few people in this world are born without true motivation. Very few people are born lazy. It's simply that they are asked of to, or forced to do things that they do not want to. Put quite frankly, I don't particularly enjoy website development. I enjoy the problem-solving aspects, but I have much more fun creating tools and automations in smart homes. And yet, Nickel Software is operating, and will be operating into the future, because it pays the bills. So you'd imagine I would fear AI taking that job from me, wouldn't you? Well, no. I want it to take that job from me, so that people consider future advancements such as automations and smart homes. When less labour is needed, people will be able to specialise in different fields, further advancing technology. An AI could become the perfect lab assistant, doctor, software engineer, accountant, to allow the people forced into those roles to do things that they're passionate about. And if you care about the role, well, there will be people who refuse to use the technology who will still wish for a human assistant, and that will be where you're able to work. But I also believe that work, as a societal concept, is flawed at the moment. There are jobs that are for the betterment of society, a teacher, a doctor, a firefighter, to name just a couple. But if you're working for a large corporation, yes, that corporation may bring people benefit by offering products and services, but you work there because they need you, and you need their money, and they need you to make a lot more money. You're an investment in the business that they assume will pay out. So let's say an AI could be used to perform these tasks suddenly. You're free to work on things you believe could better society. Science, medicine, technology, or just planting some trees. Bureaucracy could be expedited to a ludicrous degree. Humanity could move faster and faster with more and more happening every single day. A scientific marvel could go from being once a year, a decade sometimes, to once a week. AI could be used for lower level jobs to free up great minds and allow them to focus on areas that they care about. And again, to assist those great minds into making discoveries that push the boundaries of human achievement. The main concern about this, the main problem, is greed. People always want more, which is fine by nature, but it needs to be tempered. A corporation could hypothetically replace 95% of its workforce with AI, and maybe they would make more money, but that money can't just go into the owner's pockets. There have to be ethics guidelines to ensure that the money is either reinvested into the business or into the good of humanity. Because that's what all business is for, right? To better humanity. I'm aware I sound very idealistic, and quite frankly, I don't have faith that this can be done, but I want it to happen. I want to believe that we can achieve this bright future, this happy ending, because it's right within our grasp. AI advancement could bring about the advent of a bright new future for humanity, but we need to learn to not fear it. We need to fear and have power over those that control it to ensure that AI and its controllers are working for the betterment of humanity. Should it be reversed? Should AI and its controllers start working for their own gain or for nefarious purposes? God save us all. But I am hopeful. I really, really am hopeful. Wish us luck. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. This has been a weird one. I'm aware that I started preaching by the end of it, but I think that this is a message that I needed to put out there because I wanted to know that my perspective had been heard. So, with that said, I'm hoping I brought in some new people because of this video. If so, hi! I make relatively weekly videos about stuff that I work on because, as I mentioned, I'm a software engineer and smart home designer. So if you're interested, please consider subscribing down there, and if you want to, give this video a comment. I'm looking to have a conversation about this kind of stuff. I genuinely find it interesting, so seeing what your opinion is would be nice. Right, thank you for watching.